Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I want to tell you a powerful story about a young woman in a small fishing town in Japan. Her story is about fear, waiting, courage, family, and the dangerous habit of saying, "I am not ready yet." This topic matters because most people do not fail because they're untalented. They fail because they wait for a feeling that never arrives, the feeling of being fully ready. They say, "When I feel more confident, I will apply. When I feel stronger, I will speak up. When I feel prepared, I will begin." But readiness is a feeling, and feelings do not build a life. Actions build a life. This story will show you why waiting to feel ready can cost you the very thing you were waiting to become ready for. Watch till the end, because this story may not just move you, it may push you to finally begin. And if you are learning English, listen carefully, repeat the useful sentences, and practice with this meaningful lesson. If stories like this help you see your own life more clearly, subscribe to this channel. We do not just teach English here. We help you build a life you are not ashamed of. Let's begin. Part 1. The girl who waited to feel ready. In a quiet fishing town on the coast of Japan, there lived a young woman named Emmy. Emmy was 23 years old. She lived with her mother and her older brother in a small house near the harbor, where the smell of salt and fish filled every morning. Emmy had a beautiful voice. Since childhood, she sang while washing dishes, while walking to school, while sitting alone on the harbor wall watching the boats return. Her grandmother, before she passed away, used to say, "Emmy, your voice is a gift. One day the whole town will hear it." But Emmy never sang in front of anyone outside her family. Every time someone suggested she audition for the town's music festival, she said the same sentence, "I am not ready yet." When her music teacher said, "Emmy, you have real talent. Apply for the scholarship program," she replied, "Maybe next year when I am more ready." When her brother said, "Sing at my wedding. Everyone will love it," she said, "I don't think I am ready for that many people." When a small local band asked her to join them, she said, "Let me practice more first. I am not ready." Years passed. Emmy kept practicing alone in her room, in front of no one, for no one. She recorded herself on her phone, listened, deleted the recording, and said, "Not good enough yet." She watched videos of other singers online, some her age, some younger, performing on stages, receiving applause, building real careers. Each time, a small ache grew in her chest. Not exactly jealousy, something quieter, something closer to grief for a version of herself that never got the chance to exist. Emmy was not lazy. She practiced almost every day, but practicing in secret is not the same as living. She had built a beautiful voice and locked it inside a room with no audience. Part 2. The conversation that broke the silence. One evening, Emmy's mother sat beside her on the harbor wall. The sun was setting, turning the water orange. Her mother had worked at the fish market her whole life, her hands rough, her voice calm. "Emmy," she said, "how long have you been saying you are not ready?" Emmy thought for a moment. "I don't know. A few years, maybe." Her mother nodded slowly. "And in those years, how ready have you become?" Emmy opened her mouth to answer, then stopped. The honest answer was uncomfortable. She had not become more ready. If anything, she had become more afraid, because every year of silence made the idea of finally singing in public feel heavier, more impossible, more dangerous. Her mother continued, "My readiness is not something that arrives like a letter in the mail. It is not a feeling you wait for. It is a decision you make while still afraid." Emmy looked down at her hands. Her mother said one more thing quietly. "I am not young anymore, Emmy. I do not know how many more years I have to sit on this wall and listen to you sing only for the waves." Then she stood up and walked home, leaving Emmy alone with the orange water, and a question she could no longer avoid. What exactly was she waiting to become ready for? Part 3. The first terrifying step. That night, Emmy could not sleep. She opened her phone and found the announcement. For the town's spring music festival, auditions were in 5 days. Her thumb hovered over the registration link for almost 10 minutes. The old voice inside her whispered, "You are not ready. Wait for next year. Practice more first." But for the first time, Emmy noticed something. That voice had said the exact same sentence for 4 years in a row. It was not protecting her. It was keeping her small. She pressed register. The next 5 days were the hardest of her life. She wanted to withdraw at least 6 times. She told herself she had made a mistake, that she needed more preparation, that her voice was not strong enough yet. But every time the fear rose, she remembered her mother's face on the harbor wall, and she remembered one simple truth. She had never once, in 4 years of practicing, actually tested whether she was ready. She had only imagined failure over and over without ever facing it. On the day of the audition, Emmy's hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold the microphone. The small stage in the town hall had maybe 30 people watching. But to Emmy, it felt like 30,000. She almost walked off before the music started. Then she thought of the stopped feeling in her chest for 4 years. The songs sung only to empty rooms, and she opened her mouth and sang. Her voice cracked slightly in the first line. She was not perfect. She forgot a small part of the second verse. But she finished the song. When she stepped off the stage, her legs were still shaking, but something inside her had changed permanently. She had done the thing she said she was not ready to do, and she had survived it. Part 4. What readiness actually means. Emmy did not win the festival that year. A more experienced singer took first place, but something more important happened. The band leader who had asked her to join years earlier approached her afterward and said, "I still have a place for you, if you want it." This time, Emmy did not say, "I'm not ready." She said, "Yes." Over the following months, Emmy performed at small local events, made mistakes in front of real audiences, improved in ways that 4 years of private practice had never allowed. She realized something her grandmother had never fully explained. Talent grows in rooms with no one watching, but courage and real skill under pressure only grows in rooms where people are watching and you sing anyway. One evening, sitting again on the harbor wall beside her mother, Emmy said, "I used to think I was waiting to become good enough, but I was actually waiting to stop being afraid, and the fear never left. I just stopped letting it decide for me." Her mother smiled and said nothing, only placed her rough hand over Emmy's. Readiness is not a finish line you cross before you begin. It is a feeling that mostly arrives after you have already started, not before. If you keep waiting to feel fully prepared, fully confident, fully fearless, you may wait your entire life, because that feeling rarely comes on its own. So ask yourself, what have you been calling not ready yet? That is really just fear wearing a patient mask. Whatever it is, the audition, the application, the conversation, the apology, the first step of your dream, you may never feel ready, but you can still begin. If this story reminded you of something you have been postponing, subscribe to this channel for more honest lessons like this one. See you in the next story.